Hey guys, Caleb Thornton here with a review of the XM1R from Endgame Gear. Definitely a mouse that's seen some criticism, whether it be on social media and some other YouTube reviews, just for being sort of a copy and paste of some of their previous iterations, which I definitely agree with. But today's review, I'm not going to focus on that necessarily. I'm just going to focus on what the XM1R is for itself and review the mouse as is, so let's hop into it. Box contents themselves, very simple. Besides getting the mouse, you're also going to get an extra pair of skates, which are a larger size, and then also just a little card letting you know what controls you have available to you on the mouse. This time around with the XM1R, they're going to be offering some more unique colorways, with them having a translucent as well as like a frosted shell for the mouse. Kind of cool looking, as along with their more generic just black and white colors, which the one I have with me today is going to be that more just generic black color. So if you want to change it up, go something a little bit more translucent, the option is available to you, and it's kind of a cool option to have available. As far as the coating or texture on the mouse shell itself, has that sort of same feeling as the other ones that we've seen in the past, kind of a rubbery texture to it, and it feels really nice. Definitely don't need any grips on it. My hands get a ton of grip on there, and it also doesn't make me feel like super clammy like I'll find on some other mouse textures. So it feels really nice so far. The one thing I will mention is it does pick up finger oils and stuff like that pretty easily, so if that's gonna bother you, make sure you take that into consideration as well. For branding, very minimal, just that one little Endgame Gear logo towards the back, which is a little bit of color in there, but it's very simplistic. It doesn't stand out that bad to me at all. And as to be expected with Endgame Gear mice, as we've seen in the past, very solid. I don't get any creaking or flex in the side panels or top to bottom when I'm squeezing on it, so it feels really solid overall, and the texture on the grip of the shell itself feels really good as well. With it being a medium-sized mouse, the 70-gram weight that does come in at doesn't feel too heavy by any means, and feels really nice and fairly well balanced. Maybe a little bit of discrepancy there between the back and front as far as weight goes, but overall I think it feels nicely balanced and doesn't feel too heavy in the hand with the size of it. Looking at the bottom of the mouse, you are going to find 4 skates down here, and they're going to be split apart, and they feel okay. They're decent, definitely not my favorite glides ever, and I'll definitely be looking to upgrade these for some core pads. But as you look at the bottom too, you can see those bigger tracks, and those bigger tracks that are down there, you can pop these smaller skates out, and those bigger ones they include in the box can be placed in there if you want to try that out, maybe get a little bit smoother glide, a little bit more surface area touching down the mouse pad, which you might prefer, so nice to have that option available, of course. You're also going to have your DPI button on the bottom of the mouse, which with the touch will take you through the different stages of your DPI, as well as having a little LED indicator of different colors depending on what you coordinate it with in the software. And then also down here is where you change your polling rate, and you hold down the button to do that, which you can take it between 125, 500, or 1000 hertz. It comes at 1000 out of the box, and I don't see any reason why you'd want to change that, so you don't really have to do anything about that out of the box, but if you want to, it is on the bottom and an option. And on the bottom for the sensor, they're going to be using a 3370, and so far for me, as with most of the sensors in today's mice, especially the 3370, really good time with it, have no issues so far. The cable is of course fixed on the XM1R, still waiting for that wireless version of it. Hopefully we'll see that in the future, but the cable on it itself, very solid. You definitely don't need to upgrade this or anything. If you have a mouse bungee, definitely completely passable. For me, I'll probably still be upgrading because I love my paracords, but definitely passable, very flexible, and does not cause a lot of drag. You get 6 different programmable buttons on the Endgame XM1R, and so far that's definitely been one of the biggest shining points for me. Those Kale 8.0s that you're going to find in mouse 1 and 2, super solid, super tactile, crispy response. I really love the feeling of them. Along with that too, very minute pre or post travel there. If anything, there's quite a bit of side-to-side play when you actually like forcibly move them around, but as far as in-game performance and that goes, I've never experienced that bothering me at all. So overall, mouse 1 and 2, super solid, and if you're someone who loves that tactile, really nice response, these definitely deliver that for you. On your side buttons, you're gonna have TCC micros, and those also super crispy, very nice response to them. There's a little bit of pre and post travel on these as well, but it's minute and definitely nothing that affected me in game. So overall, between the side buttons and mouse 1 and 2, very crispy, tactile response. I really love the feeling of each time you click it, very easy to tell, and also just nice feeling, no mushiness at all in them. The scroll wheel, very easy to depress, which you might like, you might not. For me, I like it. And then as well as it rolling around each step, easy to define, so if you like to tie stuff to that scroll wheel, should be no issue. So all around, like buttons wise, I think it couldn't have been any better, and I definitely enjoy that a lot about the XM1R. The shape on the XM1R, of course, is exactly the same as all the other XM1s before it. So if you've had your hand on one of those and you enjoyed it, you're gonna enjoy this one as well. If you have not used it before, it's definitely aimed more towards that claw grip, or you could also pop into a fingertip on this. Definitely not aimed towards a palm, as it's a little bit on the smaller side unless you also have smaller hands. So a claw grip dream, I would say. I love this thing for claw grip. That hump is placed more towards the back, so it's gonna hit up into your palm a little bit easier, just enabling that claw grip easier for those of you who like to use that. So if you fit into that category, someone who likes to use that claw to a fingertip style grip, definitely a really great shape for that. And it's also fairly safe being around that medium ambi, so I have no issues with the shape, and I think it'll work for pretty much anyone. And just quickly touching on the fact that there is no software, despite I'm pretty positive I said earlier in this video that you can configure something software. I just wasn't thinking about that. I looked for it a lot on the web, couldn't find anything. The only thing I could find was like a firmware update for the mouse itself on Endgame Gear's site. So maybe they're working on that, maybe we'll see that pushed out in the future, but if that's gonna be something that's an issue for you, then just realize that. But again, you do have all those preset DPI stages and the ability to change the polling rate on the mouse itself. So those are usually the basic things that people wanna change up, and that option's already available to you here. The XM1R itself, kind of hard to find. I mean, it does pop up on Amazon from time to time. If you look on there right now, you can buy one for like $200, something stupid. Obviously, don't do that. On Lethal Gaming Gear, they are a distributor for Endgame Gear, and you can pick one up there for $60. Really quick shipping, and also really great customer service there in the US. So if you want to check that out, I'll have it linked in the description down below. Of course, the question at the end of the video always is it worth that $60 or that price point? I definitely think so. I mean, if you're comparing it, you know, get into the debate of is it enough changing from the old ones they've released before. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just talking about the mouse and the product it is right now. If you were just getting into it for the XM1R, I think yes, I think it's a great mouse, very well rounded, really great switches in there, really safe shape, really nice for claw grip, good cable, decent stock skates, could use a little bit better ones there, and then also adding that software in the future would definitely be a big upgrade. But besides that, I think it's a top tier mouse, and I think for what it delivers, it does a really good job of it. It's gonna work for most people, and I think at the point it's sitting right now, the next thing we're gonna want is just to see it go wireless and get rid of this cable that's attached to the front, because I think that's what a lot of people are looking for, and I know I would also really enjoy that. So I think Endgame Gear did a good job with it, but I do think it's time for them to venture out into some different shapes and taking this one wireless. So definitely a recommendation from me if you're thinking about picking it up. Thank you guys very much for watching the video. If you did find it helpful or informative, please do hit that like button for me, and do consider subscribing for more content just like this coming up in the very near future. But I'll see you guys in the next one.